President Kuroda, President Kabureka, friends. I wish to just quote some statistics and see what lessons we learn. First, over the period 2003 through 2011, the investment that ADB made to clean technologies and climate change grew from 225 million to 2.1 billion. The half of this was through the private sector, half of this through the public sector. Essentially, it showed us that there is appetite for investment in technologies as long as areas relevant to such technologies are identified and preparation of certain projects that fulfill the intent that has been expressed across the various sessions today had been outlined and fulfilled. Which means that if we have a coherent program going, we can channelize more investment in renewable energy generation. First. Second was, if you look at 2011, 2012, 50% of all renewable energy investments was in developing Asia. For the first time, developing Asia overtook the rest of the world put together on renewable energy technologies, investments, which means that there is a consciousness and an acceptance of the fact that Asia will do its best to help the globe get over the problems of climate change. So the appetite is there, the willingness is there, maybe some channelization of the hows have to be determined. That's a challenge for all of us. Third, if one looks at the assets lost due to climate change or sudden variations in non-normal environment conditions, if I may put it that way, they have been increasingly climbing in Asia. And sometime, say, 2011, 2012, the value of assets lost to such changes was more than the assets created by all MDBs put together in Asia. So it gives us pause for thought. Do we keep on adding assets to Asia without any considerations for climate resilience, climate change? So there is a need now for rapidly changing our thought to say, okay, we should not be adding investments without looking at overall climate resilience. Because sheltering one particular project or the other has an impact on the other projects that are on the ground. So there are a huge amount value of assets to be preserved that we need to look at before we create new assets. So another avenue for possible implementation. The fourth is, although in parts of the world the focus has still been on finding new resources to consume rather than looking at how to consume resources, and a case in point is the discovery of shale gas and shale oil in the US. I think realization has hit that the problem is not in finding resources to consume, but the fact that we cannot consume resources at the rate even if we have them, simply because the earth cannot take it. So that's another paradigm for development. And this has been clearly exemplified by the pollution problems in Beijing, in Delhi, Dhaka, and almost all the mega cities of Asia. And finally, when one looks at it, in 1992, when we prepared our electricity plans, we said 800 million people across the planet had no access to electricity. In 2012, when we did a survey and a consolidation of where we were, and we had achieved, there were 800 million people still left without electricity in this planet. Recently, I had a look at the International Energy Agency projections for 2030, and they said there would still be 800 million people without connection to electricity at that time. The reason is, we have a growing population, and everyone seems to believe that that's necessary for economic growth. Actually, that's the bottom line for unsustainability, because anyone who lives or exists has to consume something. So now when we talk about inclusion, I think we need to look at all these factors that we have. How is it that we're going to limit population growth, but they at the same time bother about the social problems that people have been discussing, like old age pensions and social security and stuff like that. True, it's a problem, but it's something that has to be faced because the way we are proposing a solution is not sustainable. You cannot keep on increasing the denominator and expect the numerator to be going down. That's one. Second, the issue that more than focus on awareness that everybody has to a certain degree, work has to now focus on translating this awareness into specific action, setting the context for that action, and the financial parameters that go to inducing the private sector to invest more. It is possible and very much in line with the appetite that at least Asia has today. I am sure Africa and other regions of the world also similarly have. So it's not enough to say that we must do something to save the planet. Everybody knows that. The issue is how, and that's something that is a long-term work, systematic work which needs to be put in. Thank you very much.